Hey, what's going on, everybody? That's April. I'm James, and we are still keeping the covenant. Welcome to the KTC. How you doing there, baby?
I'm doing good, hanging in there.
Cool. So, we're gonna address this issue about Will Smith and Jada. All right, I'll let you start out first because I'm a little, I got some stuff to say, but I'll let you start out first. Go ahead.
Okay, so I could look at it from both sides, but from what it looks like. And again, I'm not in their marriage. I don't know them personally, but what it looks like is that what happened at the Oscars is just another attempt for Will to gain Jada's love. It seems like that's been an ongoing battle. Like everything that he has tried to do for her or give her, it has never been enough. And I don't know if this particular what I'm about to say goes on in their household, but it seems like from the media standpoint at least, is that he has been competing with a dead guy for as long as we all know. She always
Who you
talks about
talking about,
I'm
Tupac?
talking about Tupac. So like I don't know what their relationship was like. It's evident that she had love for him, but I don't know what type of love that was. Was it a romantic love? Was it a friendship love? Um, so because of the society that we live in, I can see how the media can play off of that whole Tupac was the love of her life and all this other stuff. So that's one standpoint. What do you think about that?
Um, I mean, to be honest with you, I never really factored Tupac into the equation because he's really. I mean, I hate to say it, but he's irrelevant. Like he doesn't matter, and he hasn't mattered for years. I never saw Will as competing. First of all, I have to put the disclaimer out there that Will is probably one of my favorite artists.
Like
From
ever?
I just love Will's
Yeah, see.
career. I love Will. I grew up when I talk about rappers or rap, what I'm saying, Will Smith's in my top five. And I just like Will. And people may say I'm corny for that, but whatever. I like Will, man. I was a huge fan of Big Willie style. I was a huge fan of him and DJ Jazzy Jeff when they did their stuff. So, that's the backstory for me about Will Smith. So, but as far as this is concerned, um, I was a huge fan of Jada too. I actually really liked Jada. I was actually a big fan of this union. When they first got married, I was excited about their potential, the relationship's potential, and even when she got pregnant with Jaden, and he did just the two of us, talking about his
That was a
oldest
hot
son.
record.
I was a huge fan, man. And but I do feel that, and she has admitted to this, that Will's career overshadows hers.
Can you?
She,
Overshadows her career.
yeah, I'm saying, as far as she's got her own career in her own right. She's actress Jada Pinkett. Before she was JPS, Jada Pinkett-Smith. Um, she was Jada Pinkett, and we all knew her from, what you say, A Different World.
Different
That's your
world, and then
show.
she.
Then
That's
you
my
talk
joint.
about the Inkwell. You got to go there. You got to talk about
Oh
Jason's
yeah,
lyric. You know what I'm saying? All these things were
yeah. She had
before.
some great projects.
All these things were before him, and she was doing her thing and set it off. That was before. That was pre-Will. So she was doing her own thing, and Jada Pinkett was, when she was on screen, she was commanding on screen. The issue is that Will Smith's star is a bit bigger than Jada Pinkett. And she admitted that she did not know that. It was, yeah, we got this great thing. We wanna make this thing work, but then there's the Will Smith effect that is just bigger than I could even imagine. And I think that I know that that's what the problem is. So the slap, we get all the way up to the slap. Okay, I haven't even talked about the August Alsina and the entanglements, because this is just another entanglement that she got into with this slap. I said it when I was at work and we was discussing this, right? I said it there. I said, listen, I need y'all to stop looking at Will. You know, it was this whole thing. Oh, I wouldn't let another man slap me and all this kind of stuff. But here's where it really lies at. It's not about really Will Smith. It's about Jada Pinkett. That's the puppet master. The puppet master is Jada Pinkett, man. She was pulling the strings from the whole time. And you see it in the angle that they show where the person had video, right? The additional video where the slap happens and she actually thinks it's funny. No, that ain't funny. That is not funny, dude. You literally went on there and you slapped this man on television. Not to mention that they're both successful
Actors
black
in their own
actors.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's we haven't even, we're just now bringing that into the equation. But do you think it's okay for that man to go up there and slap this man on national television on the biggest night of his career? He's been fighting for this forever. I'll say we, because I'm a Will Smith fan. We've been fighting for this forever. I thought he should have got it for Pursuit of Happiness. You know what I'm saying? He acted his behind off in I Am Legend. Then he did his thing in Concussion. There was almost everything Will had touched at one point. This dude was gold. She even went on to complain when he didn't get an Oscar and he got beat out this last time, and she was all up in arms about the Academy and it was unfair and Will Smith should have won this and that and blah blah blah. But then on his biggest night, you turn around and sabotage it.
I agree with some of the things that you said, but what people don't understand is that your life is made up. It's compartmentalized. Okay. The Oscars is one thing, their marriage is another. And because of them being public figures, if you will, it starts to just run into each other. I can't speak to being an actor. I can't speak to any of those other things. What I can speak to is being a married woman. And when you just look at that perspective, just going off of what you said, so you were like Will Smith's star is bigger than hers, like the Will Smith effect, like you like to say. I think that I'm not saying what he did was right, wrong. I'm not saying her reaction was right, wrong. What I'm trying to do is to put some context to at least one of the parts of their life as being a married couple. When you get married, and a lot of people do not want to admit this, but in everyone's mind, there are certain jobs that a woman is supposed to do and a man is supposed to do. They got married and then they had a son. Will Smith did movies during that time. Will didn't have to carry the evidence of having a child. Okay, so that meant, number one, she was pregnant. So there were certain things that she could and could not do. After she has this child, now she is looked upon to care for this child 24/7. And she did admit, because I'm a huge fan of Red Table Talk. I love the conversations that they have. But she also said, she was like, when I was on set for Matrix or whatever it was, she had her kids with her. When Will films a movie, he has an option, whether or not he brings his family or not. So when you start to break down the dynamic of just that particular part, I'm not saying that she did not want to have children, but there's an immediate change for the woman. And it seems as if within their relationship, based off of how much they've allowed people in, they both have, I don't want to call them issues, but they both have things that they're working through.
Okay.
In any marriage, you have pretty much everything that they've gone through. That could be in anyone's marriage. The difference is that they're under a spotlight. I know tons of people, married couples, who there has been some type of infidelity in their marriage, but it was not on a screen for millions of people to see and talk about. Heck, most people really wouldn't care.
So let's go there. What you're saying about the infidelity in their marriage, right? And honestly, from what I see and from what I've seen from Will, you don't hear about that from Will Smith. But I feel like Jada took that as an opportunity, and obviously it was agreed upon, but it did not look like Will was completely healed from that August Alsina thing,
I
and
do agree
then
with that.
you get on Red Table Talk, as in, and this is how I saw it now, and don't make it right because I saw it this way, but this is how I saw it. You get on Red Table Talk, and you try to grow the show by saying we gonna go out and we gonna talk about this August Alsina thing. At first, I looked at it as, okay, maybe it's a ploy to try to get ahead of the fact that August Alsina went out and talked about the entanglement. So then she comes on and she says some things. Now, this is what I took from it, okay, when I saw it, because I just recently watched bits and pieces of it again. She looked like she was free. Like, she released the information. She was like, yo, I'm good. And like, oh, I'm happy. And Will looked like, I'm glad you happy. I'm glad one of us is happy. Cause to me, like, I'm miserable dealing with this. Like, I'm legitimately hurt. Not only am I embarrassed because this is the one that is out, about this young kid who came in and we was going through our thing and he came in basically, doing his thing. And she was like, it just felt good to heal someone. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jada must got that fire. Cause if that's what you talk about, healing someone, you must got some fire. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
But again, an assumption is made about their relationship. We don't know what they've agreed to. Is that how we have our marriage? No, we don't have an open marriage. But there has always been talk surrounding about their marriage, whether it's open or whatever. And just to play advocate, because devil's advocate, because I'll just like to do that. So yes, she came out with the August Alsina situation, right? But who's to say that Will didn't have any indiscretions himself? The only difference is that the women that he was involved with, no one ever threatened to come forward, or no one ever did. I mean, dudes
But that's my
NDAs may
point.
be like immaculate.
That's my point. That's my point. He said, like, you don't hear anything about things that he does because that's how it's supposed to be. That is a classic example to me of how your marriage is supposed to be. That everybody shouldn't be in your business, and we talked about that before in another podcast. Is that you can't have everybody in your business if you're trying to have some sort of successful marriage. Now, one thing I did not agree with them on, and I it freaking makes me cringe when I hear them say it on the Red Table Talk, when they said, they was like, we ride together, we die together, bad marriage for life. Nah, F that, doc.
Nah, okay, yeah.
Like,
I didn't hear
why would you want to live like that? They thought it was funny. I think Will was like, yo, I'll go along with what you want because I'm trying to do anything I can to make you happy. I can't undo my star. And unless I turn into someone that the public doesn't know. And that's what I feel like she's taking advantage of. Like, I feel like if he hadn't have stepped up and slapped Chris, he would have heard about that later. Oh, you just let him sit there and talk about me like that. You just let him do that. Shorty, this is how I feel about alopecia. And you let me know if I'm wrong or not. But alopecia, is alopecia a disease?
It is.
Or is it a condition? Alopecia is a disease.
It is, because it's attacking something in your body for you to lose your hair.
Okay. So I'll leave it at that, because the conversations that I've had with some of my people, my close people, is that it's a condition. Okay. And not only that, when you look at Jada's thing, like, did she need to go around and put that on full disclosure? No, I felt like she was doing that because she wanted attention. Because she went. Okay, go ahead.
I don't. So like you said, I've followed Jada Pinkett's career, and one of the distinguishing factors about her as a woman, Black actress, was that her hair was very versatile. And I've heard this, I've heard it in interviews and whatnot of other women, Black women actresses who have said when they first started in the industry, it was very difficult for them to find someone who knew what to do with their hair. Okay. And when you have the type of texture that it looks like she has, because again, I don't know her, haven't touched her hair, but that it looks like she's able to do it straight, to do it curly, she doesn't have as much kink. She has more curl than kink. Okay. So for her hair may have been a huge thing for her. So when this occurred, when this happened to her, it potentially could have been devastating for her. Hello? Looks like we might have lost him. But I'm just saying, it's everybody is different, the way that they feel about their hair. So some people have to grow into the fact that, okay, this is different. I've never experienced this particular thing before. So for some women and men, this could have been devastating for her. I don't know what that feels like. I know what it feels like for me when I've been doing this natural, I'm doing this natural journey. Okay. Most of the time you see me in braids because I don't know what to do with my hair. I was in the era that I was brought up in, it was straight is the thing to do with your hair. So I always wanted to perm my hair. I didn't realize that I had such curl and whatnot, but because I don't know how to style it, it's an issue for me. Okay. So if it's an issue for me as a woman, who's to say that it's not an issue for her as far as her hair? So her being diagnosed with alopecia, that could have been a turning point in her life. Okay. But again, that's neither here nor there. I don't know her. I don't know any personal aspects, only the things that they have allowed to come out in public.
But do you feel that she should have made, and it's her personal preference, but do you feel that she should have made a video about it, posted online, discussing, showing like the hair loss and why she has alopecia and why she's been diagnosed or whatever, and then not expect to have people have their own opinion about it. Like people make jokes about it.
But that part, hold on. But that part, the jokes part, that is what comes. That is a part of what comes with having your life out and like living your life out loud in public, being a public figure. Okay. But again, I don't know the conversations that surrounded that. I do know these. I'm gonna tell you what I do know. When I started watching Red Table Talk, the first couple of episodes, I was like, "Yo, this show is amazing. These women are dressing really well." And then I'm like, "But why don't Jada do her hair? Like, why does she always have a scarf on?" And that was just me. So if I had that thought, who knows what was said to her, comments that people said or whatever. So there was something that happened that triggered her to say, you know what, let me just put it out there so people will stop asking the question. I think this whole situation, again, and this is my opinion, this whole situation boils down to Will Smith is dealing with some issues. And he has done such an amazing job keeping his issues at bay. It's very clear that he has been doing the work on his inner work, working on himself, his anger or whatever the case may be. But I listened to somebody posted this little snippet of his book, and he was basically saying how he lived his life in fear. He was always afraid. So like he felt there was something about like he just didn't feel like a man. He was always, apprehensive or whatever the case may be. So do I think a part of it was about Jada? Absolutely. But I also believe a part of it was about him. Because and again, I don't know what, the time lapsed and when everything happens, but I saw the slap, right? And then moments later, they went to commercial. I don't know how long the commercial was or which commercial break this particular situation happened, but Denzel and Tyler Perry, they actually, you saw a picture of them talking to him. Yesterday, I saw a video on Instagram that Bishop T.D. Jakes had put on, and Denzel was at his leadership, something that he was doing. And Denzel basically said, I'm just paraphrasing, but he said, I'm not going to go into what it was that we said to him, but in that moment, I knew that prayer is what was needed. So they went and they covered that brother. And when they did that, you could clearly see that Will was crying. Anyone who, and again, my opinion, not a doctor, but anyone who does something, it does like lashes out, and then moments later starts crying and seems as if he's remorseful for the way he lashed out. He has issues. He has things that he needs to deal with. And unfortunately, his lash out came at a moment where millions of people will see forever.
Correct. So let me ask you this question. I agree with you. I think what you said was very spot on. But let me ask you this question. Do you think that, I have a couple questions for you, actually. Do you think that Jada Pinkett helps or hurts the situation? What I'm getting at is that the fact that she laughed. So your husband has a problem. Your husband has issues and has been dealing with that. So he goes up and he slaps Chris Rock, which was, in my opinion, the most inappropriate time to handle that type of issue that you may have. Now, I agree with what you said. I do. But do you think that Jada Pinkett helps or hurts the situation?
In this particular situation, from what we were able to see, it looked like she hurt the situation. But again, and there are so many different factors that come into this. See, if I'm not mistaken, it was in 2006 or 2016. In any event, Chris Rock went on a funny tangent, if you will, telling jokes about Jada. And from what I've read, because I wasn't there, he was approached by Will. Hey, man, wasn't it like that's not cool? Don't do X. Could you not say XYZ or whatever? And again, from what I read, it stated that he agreed. He agreed that he would no longer do jokes about Jada. Fast forward to the Oscars now. Well, fast forward to the Oscars, period. With the Oscars, because it is televised and so many people watch it, there is a script that they have that needs to be looked over prior to them doing the Oscars. So they have to get the okay. Yeah, but he said
that was impromptu. That was improv. That was improvisation.
Okay, that was impromptu. I'm not saying that two wrongs make a right, but when you look at that and his going with the history of what he has with Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, for Chris Rock to say what he said, knowing that is a tender spot for them. They've already approached you in private, but you publicly came out and did this again.
So are you saying that Chris was? Are you saying, huh?
What I'm saying is there's blame to be put on both parties. Now, two wrongs don't make a right, and I'm not condoning what either one of them did. But one of my issues, especially with social media and just media outlets, period, is that they never give you a full scope of all of the information. So you have people passing judgment on this man who has, from what I can see, has had a phenomenal career, has worked double time to make sure that his business is not out there in the streets. He makes one mistake, one huge, on an international platform, is huge, but he makes one mistake, and now y'all want to nail this man to the cross.
Well, it's assault.
It is.
Okay, you slapped a person on national television, and Chris is not going to press charges. I agree with you, April. I don't disagree that. I don't disagree that he should not have said what he said. That he should have not touched that subject. I don't disagree with you about that. What I do take issue with is going back to the initial piece that I brought into this conversation, and that is that Jada cannot handle the star power that comes with being Will Smith's wife, because that's what you are. You are a JPS. You are JP. You are still Jada Pinkett, but you are Will Smith's wife. And I'm not saying that she has to play the background, but she needs to make the adjustment, and she never made the adjustment. Will Smith is Will Smith, man. Like, everybody loves freaking Will Smith. But the fact that those jokes are going to come, this is how the Oscars works. And even though that was a tender subject that was talked about, and he asked him, what you're referring to, I believe, is the 2016 Oscars, when he got on and he talked about where Jada Pinkett went on this tangent about, boycotting the Oscars. And basically what he said was, me boycotting the Oscars, like Jada Pinkett boycotting the Oscars, is like me getting into Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. Okay. Like, and so, that was the joke, and she didn't like it. But if you didn't like it, then you need to stay out of the spotlight, because people are going to not everybody's going to like you. People are going to be entitled to their own opinion, and he should be able to have his own opinion. Absolutely, because when she goes on her rants, when she goes on her tangents, nobody comes and slaps her. I would have felt better if Jada had walked up there and did her own dirty work. That's what I would have felt better on. And I said that. I was like, yo, I the fact that he went up there, because he laughed at first, and it wasn't a passive laugh. It was not a passive laugh. But when he saw she didn't like it, he had to do something, or else she was going to be pissed off. And I personally don't like the position that he was put in, and he can't be himself. Will has taken the time to reinvent himself. You brought it to my attention that he brought himself out like really, really big back on social media. Like, it's not that Will Starr was dying, but it was just kind of like, okay, Will's getting up there. He's getting older. You know what I'm saying? He's not Mike Lowry anymore. But then here he goes and pulls a Mike Lowry move.
But he's also not a part of the social media era. So he kind of like catapulted into social media. And anybody who knows me, I'm like a daredevil. I love the adrenaline rush, jumping out of planes and stuff like that. And sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but Will Smith, I will never forget this. Will Smith, for his 50th birthday, he went to the Grand Canyon and he bungee jumped from a helicopter down in the Grand Canyon. Now, when I saw that, I sent that video to James and I was like, babe, I want to do that. He was like, what?
What that got to do with this?
I'm sorry. I say a lot to say. I really that still sticks with me. But I say all that to say, he has been extremely, I can't even think of the word, but he has done a very good job of reinventing himself and stepping
Jada to tear it all down.
Huh?
For Jada to tear it all down. That's how I see it. Let me ask you this. I'll point it this way. I'll point this to you. I'll point it this way to you. Would you want me to go up there and slap Chris Rock if he made fun of you?
No.
Excuse me?
No.
Okay. So I remember when it first happened and we got on the phone, I called you. I was like, what's this? I see Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith. And he was like, yeah, he was talking about Jada, man. It's a whole big thing. And then we kind of got into a little disagreement because I was like, I'm not going up there and slapping him if he say something about you. It's words, man. Like, what they got to do with anything? If he statement on national television, I'm not doing that.
I agree. I don't think that's something that's not something that I would ask you to do, but I also you just said it's just words, but words are powerful. Words are extremely powerful.
Okay, let me take back what I said. I'm sorry. Yes, you are absolutely right. Words are powerful. In that instance, he made a joke about her being G.I. Jane 2. Can't wait to see it. What? See, you chuckling already. Like, it's a funny joke. It's not even, and it was very passive. but she's offended. Why did you stay home, Jada? I don't understand what you want. I don't know what you want. First of all, if he hadn't said anything, somebody else was gonna pick on, you know how they do the red carpet thing. And what if they said something about what she was wearing and they didn't like the fact she had a bald head with what she's wearing? You gonna get mad about that too? You gonna ask Will to go slap them on that? I'm just asking. I'm just asking because I did not feel like Chris Rock deserved to be slapped, man. I don't feel like. And Chris's response was the best response. It was no response. He did not respond to that. That was the best response, man. He should don't slap him because now it's going to be looked at as this is why we don't. This, y'all complaining about y'all don't have anything. We don't give y'all nothing. But this is why, because we give it to you and then you destroy it. So he had the best response, but I felt like I felt like out of everyone, Chris was put in the position that he shouldn't have been put in. He was put in the position he shouldn't have been put in because he had to make a decision to where now he has people on one side clowning him. Oh, you should have hit him back. You let that man walk on the stage and slap you, and you got all these memes about you. Or you could now get in a fight at the Oscars on the biggest stage of acting. You get in a fight, and then you end up getting blackballed in Hollywood because you can't control yourself. That's where I felt like the puppet master was in full play. That's where I feel like JPS was in full play. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't like that. And she should have saw that. But I feel like she did. And it was like, she didn't even try to stop him. Like, why would Will get up and walk on the stage? She wasn't like, honey, no.
I agree with what you said. She did not stop him. And I agree with 98% of what you said.
Okay.
What you said, she should have saw it coming, or like something like that. Nobody saw it coming because that is not in his character.
No one but the puppet master.
Listen to what. Listen, hold on. But listen to. I understand you with the puppet master, but listen to what I'm saying. We are attacking, or there are people, I should say, because there are people who are attacking Will for what he did. I think what people need to do is start asking why he did it. Because in his 30-year career, we have never seen a display like this come from Will Smith. So it's not what he did, it's why he did it. And not only that, to see the aftermath of what moments later with Denzel and Tyler Perry. And then also for him to, he said that there was this a statement released that he said he's going to check himself into a facility. These are demons that he has been battling. And like I said, he has been able to keep at bay. Whether he decides to stay in the relationship, or like they like to call it, they're in a partnership. Yes, they are married, but they're in a partnership. Whether he decides to stay within that partnership or not, that is between that man and that woman. But I dare to ask this question to any and everybody who listens or watches this. Wouldn't you like grace if a camera was following you around at your worst moment in life? I know for me, I've had some moments in life where it's just, I just don't even want to, I'm pretty sure my brain has blocked it out because they have been that bad. But I was fortunate enough to not be in a spotlight. So nobody has seen my worst, except for my husband, probably. But so everyone always wants an extension of grace, but you don't give it. How do you, like, everyone, like I said, everybody has those moments. We make bad choices, decisions, whatever. The only difference between us and Will Smith is that he was in the spotlight. So I want people to really think about that, because if you start to look at it from a perspective, you put yourself in his shoes. If people were actually able to see your worst decision to this point in life, how would you want people to react to you? Would you want them to go and start putting memes up and talking about you or whatever the case? Or would you want people to cover you and help you to figure out why you did it?
Yeah, I hear you, and I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I actually agree with you 100%. And let me ask you this piece, because all this comes with the price of fame. You know, people say they want to be famous and they want to be well known, but there's this also comes with the price of fame. Is that, you get talked about, whether it's good or bad. You know, so why? And don't try not to chuckle when I say this, but why is Jada's bald head not the price of fame? Like this is exactly what comes with the price of fame. You cut your head, you're gonna get talked about. Real talk.
And
It doesn't matter what you're going through. It's just like, listen, God rest Chadwick. You know what I'm saying? I loved Chadwick, but loved him like so many other people. But when he got small, the first thing that was said is, man, what's wrong with him? He must be doing something for a part, or something going on with him. But nobody thought that he was actually really battling anything. But this is the price of fame. Like when you make changes to your appearance, or changes happen to your appearance, you get talked about. Like that's what happens.
Let me address what you said as far as like the talked about. Let's be very clear. Whether you're famous or not, rich, poor, homeless, whatever, you get make fun of. We're human. That happens on a day-to-day basis. Just because it happens, it doesn't negate the way you feel about it. I never want to make anyone feel like their feelings don't matter, because I've been through that situation. I've been in situations where my feelings were made me to believe that it didn't matter. So to say that her bald head is just the price of fame, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't believe that it's the price of fame, because whether she was famous or not, somebody was going to laugh at her or somebody was going to make a joke.
Okay.
What I do believe is, in the world that we live in right now, human beings have become so like detached that they will say and do anything. And that's where the problem comes in. Like, when I first saw, again, I told you I watched Red Table Talk. When I first saw her bald head, I was like, wow, that's dope. That's cool. I hadn't even heard about the alopecia situation. I was like, wow,
I didn't know
she's
anything
brave.
about it.
Like I even said, I was like, yo, she's brave, because if I had to cut off all my hair, I don't know what I would look like. I don't know if I have like a domey, you know what I'm saying? These are things that you start to think about. She even did an episode about it, about women freeing themselves of cutting their hair. And I thought it was very liberating.
So if you're free, if you're truly free, because she took pictures before the Oscars, and she was focused on the way her head looked, and she was embracing it is the word. So if she's doing that, why do you care about what other people say about your head?
To your question.
If go ahead.
When did you start balding?
When I was like 25.
Okay.
24, 25.
Were you comfortable with it?
Yeah.
Did anyone ever make a remark to you that made you feel some type of way when they talked about your head?
Nah. Because there's nothing I can do about it.
That's fair. Listen, like I said, that is fair. But to the point that I was saying earlier, one of the distinguishing pieces of a woman, or what women feel that helps, that enhances their beauty, is their hair. That's why you see that women spend thousands of dollars on weaves and microlinks and all types of wigs all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that is already a
Mm-hmm.
sensitive place. So even if
Mm-hmm.
she feels empowered and whatnot, who's to say that somebody could say something to her on a day where she's just not feeling herself. She's not really there. And she's just trying to make it through. And somebody says something about her head.
So
That
you
hurts.
picked the biggest night of Will's career to not feel. I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you, but partly I'm a little serious. Like I do feel like she could have ate that, and I just do. Like, this is the moment you've been waiting for. This man put out a beautiful performance. Beautiful performance. I watched that movie several times. And you complain about him not winning before, and here he has an opportunity to win, but it's overshadowed by this. And this is where I say the overshadowing wasn't just about Will's Oscar, but it was Oscar also going into the story about Richard. It's overshadowed. The event is overshadowing. The girls, Venus and Serena, the story is overshadowing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about the movie. It's not about the movie. And most people say, I didn't even know the Oscars was on. I didn't even know the
I
Oscars
didn't.
was that Sunday night until I heard this thing about Will Smith slapping. So this is what I'm talking about. See, it would have been, you didn't know the Oscars was on last night, but Will Smith won the Best Actor award finally for a beautiful performance. That's what it would have been. But it's not that. It's Will Smith won the Best Actor award. That comes after the fact that he slapped Chris Rock.
Let me
Ask you something.
qualify.
Do you know who won the Best Actress?
No.
That's my point.
But hold on, but let me qualify this. Hold on. But let me
time and place.
But absolutely, let me just qualify this, okay? No matter what you say, it will always go down in history, whether you saw the Oscars or whatever. Yes, Will Smith, he slapped Chris Rock, but also Will Smith won that Oscar. See, the reports and the memes and stuff, those are going to slow down. But you will never be able to erase the fact that he actually won the Oscar. Was that day overshadowed? And the week or two following, was it overshadowed by his actions? Absolutely. Absolutely.
But see, you look at it a little bit different because the two now are intertwined. They're inseparable.
They are.
He
they
won
are
the Best Actor, but he slapped Chris Rock. Like, that's always going to be. That's what it's going to be known for. When people, to be completely honest about it, is that people will go years down the line, 10, 15 years later, and be like, does Will Smith have an Oscar? That's what I'm saying. That's not going to be the dominant thing. It's going to be, they ain't going to be asking, did Will Smith slap Chris Rock? It's going to be, you remember when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock?
I also believe that it all depends on your perspective on life. So for me, I am developing, and I say I am developing, but it's a daily thing. I choose to look at the good and not the bad. I think that unfortunately in our society, people look at the bad, and like they bring up the bad first and not the good, and that's just the reality of how things work. But it's a choice. And if these two men, and again, I wasn't there, but according to something that I read, Puff Daddy said that they went after the show and they spoke or whatever, and it was squashed. Okay.
Right. Right.
When you have, to me, on with that night, it represented so much. Mm-hmm. There were so many things that happened that, because in the midst of it all, it was like jokes and, oh my gosh, I can't believe that Will Smith did this or Will Smith did that. But one of the things that I saw was, it doesn't matter how successful you are in the public eye. You can have enough money to purchase anything that your heart's desire, but if you have inner turmoil, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the material things that you have. Those things don't matter. as I gotten older, I've realized that peace is so much more valuable than money.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
being able to do what I want to do with my time, that is so much valuable, so much more valuable than, being a life of the party or whatever the case may be. I say all that to
Mm-hmm.
say what this revealed, and I'm praying that this is something that has gone through Will Smith's brain, or people around him have like kind of rallied around him to see this. And based off of the statement that came out that he's going to go and seek help, that
Mm-hmm.
he has some work to do. And as a grown man, especially a black man, for him to acknowledge, yeah, I what I have been doing, it has worked up until this point, but now I need help. That is a tough thing to admit for someone to look at themselves and be like, yeah, I get teary eyed about that, because that's like a forever thing for me. When you have built a life, or built a persona, if you will, about how it is that you want people to see you, how you want people to see you, when it gets to a point where they see that you're not perfect, or they see that you have imperfections, it takes a piece of you. But there are two things that can happen in that situation. You can stop and say, you know what, I need help, I need to work on myself. I see it. There's
Mm-hmm.
something within me that I don't know why I do what I do, or I don't know why I react to what it is that I do. So I need to find out why, so that this doesn't happen again. And to me, that's huge. That was the well, encompassed in the first thing that I saw. The second thing that I saw was that despite Chris Rock getting slapped, he kept his composure.
Mm-hmm.
He, even though Will Smith in that moment was the aggressor, and anyone who does not know black people would say, see, that's what they do. In that same moment, Chris Rock defied that theory
Mm-hmm.
of how black men react, or what black men will do. Or do you understand what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
then the third thing was when you had two other black men come over and they prayed over that man. They laid hands on that man. And as Will Smith was walking back to his seat, Bradley Cooper, I don't know what he said, but he got up and he hugged him, because there was something that Bradley Cooper saw in that situation with Will Smith and Chris Rock that I'm pretty sure he could relate to. And
Yeah.
that just showed
Yeah.
you, in all of those instances, those were men covering men. And that's something that you really don't see. Because
Mm-hmm.
even though Chris Rock, like I said, even though Chris Rock was the one who got hit, he still covered Will. You know how? He didn't press charges. And he
He
did
didn't
not,
press charges.
and he
Yeah.
didn't come out of character. He did not come out of character, because I mean, here's the deal. I don't know if the man can fight or not, but in my humble opinion, I think that there is something within people, and I think especially in men, it's like, yo, this dude just like it makes you want to pounce, but he didn't.
I
So
mean, I hear you. And to kind of wrap this up, I think it shows the difference between someone who's level headed and someone who is not in control of their own life right now. It goes back. It basically wraps up everything that you were saying. Is that Chris Rock's in a different place. He's not in the same place that Will Smith is in. And I agree. I appreciate the covering of the men, the brothers that came and helped him. Those are real friends. Those are the type of people you want to have around. So do you think last couple things? So do you think that Jada was wrong in this situation?
me that question already.
I know I just felt like asking it again because I need to be clear. I need to be thorough. Do you think that Jada was wrong in a sense of laughing at Chris Rock getting slapped.
With the information that I have, which is very minimal because I was not there, I don't know them, and I don't know the full scope. Yes, I do believe that in that moment it appeared as if she was wrong. But I like to say this part all the time. I have no heaven or hell to put anyone in. And I know what it feels like for people to look at you as a villain or as the person who's doing something wrong. So I'm one of the first people who will go to bat for someone who's being attacked.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you know right now. Okay. Unless someone is why you acting like you know what I'm about to say already?
Go ahead, James.
All right. I'm gonna let you know right now. Unless someone is actively trying to attack you, I'm not slapping nobody. Okay? Like I'm not gonna do it. You know why? Because I'm just not. Like I don't have a reason right now, but I'm just not gonna slap anybody on the account of someone says something about your hair.
I don't need. I'm not going to say I don't need. If, and I'm not like a physical person like that anymore. But if something like that were to happen, I would hope that I was in the mental space to let it roll off of me. I would hope that. I can't say what I would or would not do because I've been in the moment in some situations. I done broke some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I done hit some people, and that wasn't my finest moment. But from after that situation, I have worked my darndest to make sure that something like that, I don't come out of character like that because I know that that's not the type of person that I am. And the headspace that I was in those moments, I know I was irrational. I know I was hurt.
I will always defend you. Okay. And I will try to handle the situation diplomatically at first. But in a crowd setting, unless it's like someone is like, yo, what you gonna do about it? And they're antagonizing me, then it's just not worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. But like I said, I will always defend you. Like if it was us and I was there at the Oscars, I'm not gonna get up and slap Chris Rock. I'm just not gonna do that. What I am gonna do is have a conversation again with him afterwards, and it's going to be more aggressive, but it's not gonna be on national television. It's gonna be like, look, bruh, I'm gonna be real with you. Okay, you got one more time. Do it again, and we gonna throw hands, like for real.
Let me just clarify and quantify what you just said. You are making this statement with a clear mind, and you've thought the situation through.
That's
fair. I can
that's
almost
fair.
guarantee you that Will Smith has played this back in his mind millions of times. And he wishes that he would have been able to have a rational thought process in that situation. And that's why I said that I would hope, if I were in a situation, I would hope that I had the clarity and I was in the mental space where I could let it roll off of me.
I got you. I that's respect. I have a lot of respect for everything that you're saying, and you have actually made me see some things in a different light, honestly. And I agree that all parties were wrong in the situation. I never thought that Chris Rock was right. I didn't think it was okay for him to say something about Jada, seeing as how he was approached before. I never saw it that way. But I did feel like it could have been handled a lot differently, as you stated as well, that you feel like it felt like it could have been handled a lot differently. But the person who stirs the pot, in my opinion, is Jada. And I think if Will's going to get help, I really hope Jada's going to. And that's just me. And I'm not saying she got to go with him. I'm saying she needs to get her own individual help because, yeah, she's freed herself and gone through counseling for what she feels like she's dealt with concerning August and, you know, whatever else she was dealing with. But it's still some stuff pent up there because something you're not happy about, man. It's just something you're not happy about. And I can't pinpoint, nor do I really want to, but she needs to, man, because I think is a big part of why Will has some issues too. It's not just from his childhood, but I feel like that has been, she's added fuel to that fire, whether she meant to or didn't mean to. But she's a Virgo, so I think it's possible.
Gonna throw that in there. I knew he was gonna throw that in there, like the Virgo part.
What?
Yes, I am a Virgo.
Why are you upset about that? You a Virgo?
Oh, you almost made me curse on these good people iPad, whatever thing.
Whatever you listening to us on, man. Thank you again, y'all, for listening to us. We really, really appreciate y'all. We wanted to do this special episode for y'all, so y'all can know what we think, you know, about other married couples from married couple perspective. So, you got anything else, babe? Appreciate y'all. See y'all next week on the KTC. Peace.